We've had quite a lot of experience using the philosophy for children, the philosophical inquiry approach in schools, primary and secondary schools in Oldham, but also in community settings, with housing associations, with people working in primary care, trust settings, working with parents. So we've got a good wealth of experience of using the P4C approach. We were very conscious of the fact that we were going to train young people, not teachers, not professionals, but young people. And then we were going to ask them to go and facilitate inquiries out in schools or out in the community. So it was important that they did feel prepared and that they felt that they could respond to that challenge of facilitating inquiries. So a good focus on facilitation. We've had a particular focus in making this film on the work of the Year 12 Blue Coat students. They've, following their training in groups of 3s and 4s, they've gone out to 4 different primary schools in Oldham and they've led inquiries with Key Stage 2 children, so years 4, 5 and 6 children between the ages of 9 and 11. And the group that we were following in the film have worked here at Limeside Primary School with the Year 4 class. It was great to see the students from Blue Coat practicing their skills, developing their skills, and it was also great to see the Year 4 pupils responding to them, working with them, perhaps in a different way to the way that they would respond to a teacher, but in a very constructive and beneficial way.
Definitely, because I think that it's really beneficial to us to see that it's like really underestimated how deep that children can think, and I think that it's really beneficial to us to question our ideas and thoughts that we had before to what we have now. So
I think it's really beneficial, and like other students should do it because it gives you like an insight into what being like a primary school teacher is like if you want to be it in the future, and I'd say that it was really useful like for my future.
Like at the moment the government seems to be very national curriculum based, and I think it's beneficial for us as individuals and it's beneficial for the children, but it's beneficial for society because they need to realise that they can't underestimate children the way they have been doing. It's just at the moment it seems to be, here's your national curriculum, teach it, teach them how to read, teach them how to write, teach them how to spell. And these big issues, when they get to our age, they're not being able to debate and have the discussions that this is going to allow them to do. So I think it's really beneficial for that.
I agree with them all, yeah, I think it's really beneficial. It's like opened up their minds, and you can see it's opened their minds up because they're discussing all these things, but then it's opened up our minds and how surprising it is that like small children can actually discuss it, because like when we was planning it all, we all discussed like, should we really be talking to little kids about war, is it really right, but we should do because they've got their own view.
Why are there wars? Because we only have wars because people are trying to ruin this country, but we only fight back so then we can save this country. Yeah.
People don't need wars just to fight over like silly stuff, because they could just all get along with each other and like say, well, you can go in our country as long as we can go in yours, and it'll be whole sorted.
I think it's really good because they teach, like how to share our ideas and communicate with other people.
I'm committed to this way of working, and I really do believe that school should be 3 to 19 anyway, because what we tend to find is we get our children to a certain level in philosophy and lots of other things, and then they go on to a high school with a very different approach. And I think if there was a generic approach with a generic curriculum, an approach to the pedagogy, I think we would have much higher performance right at the end, and probably better citizens as well. So I am absolutely committed to this cross-phase working.
Sometimes the simpler the question, the better. It doesn't need to necessarily have a lot of words in it. So, you know, a question like, what's the problem with the headscarf? Or what's the problem with the burqa? Why is the headscarf a problem?
Yeah.
That in itself can lead into, because it's open,
Yeah.
and it can lead down all sorts of different directions. What have you found useful? What have you found interesting about the work we've done and the kind of approaches that we've been exploring?
The stimulus material for me, I think it just helps to facilitate dialogue and discussion, and there's so many views and perceptions that come out, and there's so many meanings to one image.
The stimulus material kind of like opens discussion, opens that gateway for that young person to come and share their views and opinions.
Talk about those issues that are sort of quite taboo. You know, when you want to talk to kids about something, and how would you start the conversations? And it's like, well, actually, you've given them this sort of stimulus, and they will discuss the issues. We tend to make assumptions that, oh, they probably won't know much about this or much about that, but they tend to know everything about everything. But it's getting the kids to open up and be able to talk. I think it gives that opportunity to feel they can say what they want to.
You can actually see it working in practice when you're working with their focus groups and other organisations or youth groups, and it's a very helpful toolkit to be using. It gives you the chance to explore areas around a topic in a manner which doesn't mean that you're allowing your own thoughts and views and opinions to kind of control the outcome.
This is a straightforward, easy to learn methodology that you can apply in any context, and most significantly, it opens up debate and discussion.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you want to address any form of challenging behaviour, you've got to explore that behaviour, create a space where that can come out, in terms of attitudes, values, beliefs, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why I buy into this.
It's really convinced me to become a primary teacher.
Respect the thoughts of younger children.
P4C is really beneficial for children.
P4C should be done more.